Peevy Show. I have a very, very special guest, Dr. Creep. Hello, Dr. Creep.
Hello, Mr. Peevy. I'm glad to be with you. You know I'm older than you are.
No, you're not. I'm 95 years old.
Well, I'm at least 4 to 5 centuries old.
Oh, goodness, you are older than I am. You've been around.
And I understand you've got a book. Is that right?
Yes, I have a book called Mr. Peevy Forgets, and I have you a copy. There's a copy for you.
Good. I'm glad. I'm going to read that book
because
I forget a lot of things.
There it is right there.
Being 4 to 5.
You want the book now, Dr. Creep?
Yeah, I'll take that book.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Mr.
boys and
Peevy
girls,
Forgets.
Yeah, boys and girls can get that book at the public library. Also, Books and Company has the book as of yesterday. So, okay, Dr. Creep, I'm so glad to have you here. And I'm sitting behind us. And so what is this behind us, Dr.
Well,
Creep?
I actually think we're homeless, so we've got 2 chairs in front of a cemetery.
Oh, my goodness. This is it. It's incredible. It's kind of spooky out here. And this
Yes, it is.
This is a midnight show also, too. And it's Friday the 13th, isn't it?
Yes, it is Friday the 13th.
It's perfect.
It's one of my favorite motion pictures of all time. So.
Fantastic. And I heard that motion picture is going to be playing somewhere tonight.
Yes, it is at the Page Manor.
Oh, fantastic. Now, this show's going to probably air later on, but I hope everybody gets to go there.
I hope they do, too. Hey, are you superstitious? I just want to know that.
Yes. I got a rabbit's foot I carry it in my pocket.
You know, I have 50 black cats.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Dr.
And
Creep.
one of them may pass your way.
Oh, no, Dr. Creep. If he crosses my path, then I have to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah, don't break any mirrors either.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
superstitious also. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Dr. Creep. So, Dr. Creep, you have a long, long history, and you had a show. What was the name of your show, Dr. Creep?
Well, actually, I had 2 shows.
Oh,
I
goodness.
had a children's show called not Shock Theater. Yeah, children's show, right. No, I had Clubhouse 22, which was a children's show.
Fantastic.
And I also had Shock Theater. I'm 33 years as a horror host. I'm the legend.
You are just great. We love you, Dr. Creep.
Well,
now,
I love you guys, too.
Now, Dr. Creep, you have some great stories, some conventions. Can you tell us some of these stories?
Well, conventions. My favorite convention is Cinema Wasteland. That's at the Holiday Inn in Strongsville. That's usually the first weekend in October. And there's a lot of people that come to that convention. It's really fan-friendly, it's celebrity-friendly, and it's dealer-friendly. And there's a lot of people that come to that thing. I've met Michael Berryman, The Hills Have Eyes. He's also into saving wolves. I did an interview with him. He was really fantastic. The first year I went there was just after the 9/11 incident. And so there's a lot of celebrities couldn't come to that convention because all the airports were closed down. So I got to meet a few people, but I didn't get to meet everybody. I tell you, one of the nicest guys, and actually his family lives here in Dayton, and I actually participated against his brother in speech contests in high school. His brother is Martin Sheen. It's the Estevez family. Yeah, Joe Estevez is one of the nicest people, and he was at Scary Camp. That was Memorial Day weekend. We had a lot of people there. We had Conrad Brooks. Conrad Brooks was from Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes, I love that show.
Yeah, I love Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I love
too.
Ed Wood movies. I love Ed Wood movies.
You like Ed Wood movies?
Oh, I love Ed Wood movies.
I like Ed Wood movies too. And you give Conrad one question, and he'll go for at least a year and a half.
Fantastic! I need to have him on my show. I like talkative guests.
Yeah, well, this guy, he could do 30 minutes in a tap dance. You know? But I tell you, really seriously, Joe was one of the nicest people. I talked to him, asked him how many motion pictures he did. Actually, he was very nice because he was actually on his way to his family's place here in Dayton, Ohio, and they were going to have a cookout the next day, being Memorial Day, and he actually stopped what he was doing. He says, "Yeah, let's do that interview," and in the process, he said to me, he says, "I'd like to interview you, and your and all about your family and having got into the business and everything." But he was really one of the nicest people. He has done 144 motion pictures over the years. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, there is that was a lot. Plus, the Graveyard Zombie was there from Night of the Living Dead. Bill Heinzman and the Kyra Shawn, who was the Trow girl, the little girl in Night of the Living Dead. We had a lot of nice people there. Sid Haig, he was an interesting character. He's been in the business for about 40 years, mostly drive-in theater fare and things like that. And he did the he's best known for right now as Captain Spaulding in Rob Zombie's movie House of a Thousand Corpses. And they're also, I got an exclusive from him. They're doing a second one, and he's also doing a comic book.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, Dr. Creep, now you are a ghoul. What's a ghoul?
A ghoul? Well, the thing is, I'm a friendly ghoul. I mean, it's a dead person. It's kind of like a cross between a ghost and a zombie.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't eat people.
Okay, where are you from, Dr. Creep?
Well, actually, I'm from Middletown, Ohio.
Oh.
And I kind of come by this business. My uncle had the largest traveling monster show in the nation. His name is Doug Hobart. He took the name Hobart and turned it around and made it Dr. Trabo. He traveled around the country. He had a full Frankenstein's laboratory on stage.
Oh, my goodness.
He did Sacrifice to the Moon God, and he also had his kids involved. There was kind of like a little monster act with it. He actually would make it a package deal. He'd bring the movie into the theater too. Actually, he was responsible on one occasion for keeping the audience from panicking because the stage curtain actually caught on fire.
Oh my goodness!
And he made it part of the act. And the thing is, nobody got trampled, and they thought it. I mean, he convinced them that it was part of the act, that the flames that were going up the stage curtain were part of the show.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Creep, you're also you say you host a show. Do you host a show now?
Yes, I do. I host Shock Theater.
Okay, when does that come on? And
That comes on Sunday night at 10 o'clock.
On what channels?
Oh, well, it's Channel 23 and also Channel 20 here at DATV.
Fantastic. Now, Dr. Creep, you met one of my favorite all-time horror actor, Vincent Price. Could you talk to
Yeah, well, it's kind of strange. In fact, I hope there was somebody out there that taped that particular show, because in the process of moving, I lost the interview. Well, Vincent Price, at one time from Warren, Ohio, the Warren Players would put on musicals and stage plays. It was called the Kenley Players, and he came in to do Oliver. He was going to play Fagin, and someone arranged for me to meet him. It was like an hour and a half, and I was able to shoot an interview with him. He was one of the nicest people. I thought possibly I thought possibly that he would probably say, "Who the heck are you?" You know, that type of individual, being a big star and everything. But he made me feel at home, and we talked for about an hour and a half. That was a lot of time I had with him, and we talked about a lot of things. His interest in primitive Indian art, and I think I asked him who he thought was the better Dracula. Now, he's worked with both Bela Lugosi and a lot of different people. But
Fantastic.
he said something to the effect that he liked Christopher Lee better as Dracula than Bela Lugosi.
Yes, I like Christopher Lee also, too.
Yeah, and the thing is, I also asked him, I says, what was the most fun you've had in a motion picture? He says, probably the Wizards duel between me and Boris Karloff in the movie The Raven. And, yeah, that was really fun. I love that particular duel too. Yeah. So he worked with a lot of different people over the years. I was asking him if he was going to do another Dr. Phibes movie. He says if his wife was in it, he probably would do it.
Oh, I like that movie too.
So, but Vincent, as I said, was probably that was my biggest thrill. I've met a lot of different people over the years, but my biggest thrill was my idol Vincent Price, because I liked The House of Usher, The Pit and the Pendulum,
Oh, those are great movies.
The Terror, and yeah, all those particular motion pictures he's made.
Okay, Dr. Creep. Now, have you met Christopher Lee?
No, I'm hoping eventually before he. See, there's only Christopher Lee is the only survivor right now that you would consider as one of the #1 actors in the nation, especially in horror movies. All the rest of them have died. So I'm hoping eventually before he dies to meet him. But I've always liked Christopher Lee. He's done a couple anthologies on science fiction. He's done a couple anthologies on horror movies and things like that, and they're out on video, so you can purchase them. And of course, all the Dracula movies are out there. I'll tell you one thing I did with the Dracula movie though, that he was in. I actually took the motion picture and I edited down a thing called Everybody Bite Your Hand, okay? Yeah, so the thing is, it was really nice. It's actually a musical parody, and it was really nice to do something like that. It took me a couple hours to do it, to edit it down, but it really is a nice musical parody. So that was a lot of fun. I've done a lot of different things over the years. Actually, when we first started Shock Theater, and we actually started it the day after New Year's Eve. It was January 1st in 1972.
Oh my
and
goodness!
Our set basically was chroma key, and it was also like a high table with different paranormal things. Like there were actually pentagrams, and we had a boa constrictor and things like that.
Oh
So
goodness!
and actually I was seated by this table. It was kind of like an altar, and actually what happened in regards to Shock Theater, because the thing is, I wanted to do it like my uncle's monster shows, very, very scary, but sound effects didn't cut off at the right time, and all the different audio bites and everything went awry, and actually got to be comedy. And then from that point on, it basically, Shock Theater was a comedy parody of all the different monster hosts around the nation. So.
Well, now, Shock Theater stayed on from 1972, and it's still on now?
Well, actually, as I said, we're on cable access.
Oh.
I'm still doing Shock Theater. We started we were 1972 on January 1st. It was about 11:30. We were live for the first 3 years until they got to know that we were having a party. No, no, actually, I was the last thing on. If the movie was 60 minutes, we went 3 hours.
Oh,
It was like, come on down, be on Shock Theater, that type of thing.
Oh, goodness.
And then we went through 1986.
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness.
13 years.
Fantastic.
And then during that time, I also started a foundation.
Oh.
It was called Project Smiles. At Christmas time, it's called Project Christmas Smiles, and we take care of needy kids at Christmas time. And this will be our 34th year of doing Project Smiles, and that'll be coming up soon.
So what does that entail, Dr.
Well, actually,
Creep?
it actually is a toy project.
Oh.
9 counties. Clear Channel gets on board, and I have a couple celebrities. Butch Brown from used to be with WONE, or actually he's still with Clear Channel. He's on radio from time to time, and several other people get on board for Project Smiles. It takes care of 9 counties. So yeah.
That sounds fantastic, Dr. Creep. Can you tell us, now you said you was on 3 years live. Can you tell us some bloopers? Anything funny?
Bloopers?
Happen
I think
your
the one that I
show?
remember more than anything else, we were going to do the cat people. And I had a friend of mine that he was on a show, 22 Could Do. His name was Jungle Bill. He owned the Driftwood Pet Shop. Well, his pet was Wendy, a mountain lion. So I asked him, I says, hey, why don't you let me borrow Wendy on Saturday night, well, you come out and bring Wendy, and I'll have her on a leash, seated beside me, and uh, uh, and he said, yes, I'll do that for you. All right. Now I had a big puppet. Actually, there was a walking puppet by the name of Gorsh. He was he was an orange felt character. He was kind of like Sweetums, Sid and Marty Krofft, Sweetums.
Okay.
And so what I didn't know, and they didn't tell me, is that they used orange felt mitts to play with the cat. Now, Gorsh is orange felt. So he walks onto the set, and the cat's ears perk up and is watching Gorsh as he crosses the set. He broke the leash and ran after him. And Gorsh went into my coffin, part way in, part way out, and it was going trying to get the coffin open, okay? But and you heard, this was live now. You heard, help! Help! Now this is live and you can't take it back. Help! Get him off me! That was a lot of fun. And everybody heard it at home. Okay.
That's so funny.
Now they would always get with the director prior to me doing the show, and the thing is, they would conspire against me and see how I would react. Now there was a lot of things over the years. We did a black mass. Actually, we promoted a black mass. And the thing is, the girl was seated on the table with in a bikini, and the thing is, we had the knife and everything. We were doing. So I forget what the name of the movie was, but we were promoting it all the way through the show and got people hyped for it. Okay, actually, we stuck a candle in the girl's navel and sang "Happy Birthday" to everybody. Now, and as I said, they would conspire to have things happen to me. They would pick me up, this old rickety chair that I had, they would pick me up and the chair would fall apart and you'd hear me screaming. And they actually one time took my entire set down at the end of the show. They just completely stripped me and left me with a casket lid. That was it, okay? And they did it to Don't Knock the Liverwurst. As I said, and I always said, come on down, bring your friends, and a lot of them did bring their friends. Now we had one of the segments we had on the show was called Victim of the Week, and the boyfriends, some of the girls would write in and say, have my girlfriend be your victim of the week and everything. So we were getting close to the end. We had several different torture items and everything else for Victim of the Week, but it came down to the last victim of the week. And the crew says, don't get anybody for that. We've got the girl just for you. And I should have thought something was funny then, but here's what happened, okay? They showed me the girl. She had on a black sheath dress, black gloves, and I says, oh, okay, here's what we're going to do. And we're going to make, you can use, the use of black is great in television. So I said, okay, we'll play David Rose the stripper. She does a couple steps, and I'll say, I'll take care of this myself, and then I would carry her off, and then they'd go back to the movie and let people at home think whatever they wanted to, okay? So I says, well, okay, here's the thing. I says, when we come up with Victim of the Week, we do the opening to Victim of the Week, this being our last victim.
Ooh.
I says, well, just do a couple dance steps. She says, I don't dance. I'm going, oh, no, man. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be really terrible. I says, well, just move. She says, I really don't move that well. I said, okay, fine. I says, do whatever you want to. We'll just play David Rose as a stripper, and then what I'll do is I'm going to take care of this myself, and then carry you off. And that she was already agreeable to that. What I didn't know about my crew and about the director, they had conspired against me. we come up on Victim of the Week. We explain this is our last Victim of the Week, so and so and so and so, and we play David Rose as a stripper. What I didn't know is that she was a professional stripper.
Oh no! Oh,
so the thing,
Dr. Creep.
now the thing is,
Oh no!
she started going bum bum ba boom bum ba boom bum, bum, and she started she took off the gloves and then swung the gloves a little bit, threw them away, and started for the zipper. And I said to the people at home, and this was live, we couldn't take it back or nothing. I took off my cape, and the camera they were on, I said, oh my God, we've got children watching. And I threw the cape over the lens, and they went back to the movie. And I hear all this chuckling coming from my cameramen, my directors, and the entire engineer. Yeah, things like that happen to me all the time. And the thing is, they would do things to me. I'll tell you another thing. One with a puppet that was really funny.
Okay.
I was a professional wrestler also.
I didn't know that.
I was known as the Destroyer, and I also wrestled as Dr. Creep. Well, one of my dearest friends was a fellow by the name of Killer Brooks. I worked with the old Sheik. And Killer Brooks had just kind of broken with the Sheik and was going to do a show at the Dayton Convention Center, and he wanted me to do this Crimson Towel match, or call it, or whatever. So I was having problems with the puppet. I called him Drac, and the thing is, he had like wooden teeth, and sometimes he'd leave his teeth embedded in my neck. And he would kind of hit me a few times with rubber chicken and things like that. Well, that particular day that I had Killer Brooks on, I says, if you don't stop acting up, I told him, I says, and you've been leaving your teeth in my neck, and also you've been hitting me with a chicken, I've got someone that will take care of you. So he didn't know that I had Killer Brooks backstage ready to go on. So he was doing his thing. He was upsetting me, and he really wasn't nice. But the thing is, he biting my neck and hitting me with a chicken and everything else. And I says, well, I warned you. Killer, sick. And Killer comes out and beats him up. It was funny. It really was. And then we promoted his match at the Dayton Convention Center. Over the years, there's things we couldn't take back. Gorsh was a big, big puppet. It was like a shoulder harness, and the character, like the character Sweetums. Well, we used him a lot, when we did a lot of pantomimes and things like that. And the one time though that I remember is Gorsh would do a thing, and we did a lot of parodies on songs and things like that. But Gorsh, the thing with the cat and everything was really funny. But Gorsh at times could be a pain in the neck. Okay, no, but he was a nice guy. But the thing is, he could be in the pain. We did a movie whereby the woman gets burned up at the end of the motion picture, and we did we did this parody on fire and things like that. But Gorsh he loved the women. I'll tell you. Probably you do too, right? 95 years old?
Oh, yes, I'm 95 years old. Yeah, I like the women too. The younger the better.
That you don't forget, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, but he had a habit of getting in trouble from time to time, Yeah. And we put him in a lot of different situations. Great Balls of Fire with one of the girls that had worked on the show. I had two girls on the show as hostesses. There was Tara and the other Firma. Firma was a big buxom blonde, and the other was a little girl, and we called her Tara. And they would do different pantomimes with him, So yeah, but Gorsh was one of those puppets that was really. he was a fan favorite. We had Frankie Boy,
Okay.
we had the Mummy,
Oh.
and we had Drac. And
Oh,
Drac was the
Drac.
one that was always over my show.
Okay.
I had a magician. Her name was Charbeal on the show, and he hated her guts.
Oh.
And the thing is, he would ruin any magic things that we would do with
Oh
her.
my goodness.
I'd always, and she would give it back to him. Really, it was like there was kind of like a feud going on between them. But it was kind of funny to see that. But,
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. We had a lot of things on Shock. We had a lot of magicians that came on the show. We had actually one of the top 10 punk bands come on the show. They're no longer together. They're called the Dates. They came on the show. We had this one guy. I thought I don't know if they were chicken wings or what, but the thing is, he had this black outfit on, and he had flapping arms. And the thing is, I think he was called Windjammer or something like that. I thought he was going to take off. We had a country band called Country Earth. They were one of the best country bands in this particular area. And Frankie went to Nashville, and he's written songs for a lot of the major artists and everything like that. Frank Myers was his name, and most of them was brothers and cousins and what have you, Country Earth. And they really were one of the finer bands. I had another puppeteer. There was by the name of John Higgins. We had a puppet called Obi Yo-Yo. He looked like a giant orange squeezer. So he was on the show quite often. I had Spider-Man on.
Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, actually, there's a story about Spider-Man and me. The Golden Gloves in this particular area, Dayton Golden Gloves, asked me to come out to the Salem Mall and box. And the guy I was going to box was Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got into it, and we were going to go 3 rounds. And he kind of tapped me hard once. I got him in a clinch. I says, guess what? I'm going to take you out in the 3rd round.
Oh.
That's what I told him. And the thing is, we got to the 3rd round after sparring, and I tapped him a couple times, and then I grabbed his arm and threw him against the ropes, and he came up. I put him in like a bear hug or something, and I body slammed him.
Oh.
And the thing is, they counted him out. They actually counted 10 rather than they counted him out. I took out Spider-Man. That's big. Don't mess with Dr. Creep.
Yeah, don't mess with Dr. Creep. That's fine. And Dr. Creep, you were a wrestler. How long were you wrestling?
Oh, I've wrestled many, many years. I worked for the old Sheik, the one that used to throw fire. That was Eddie Farhat. He died about a year ago. The thing is, I worked for Buddy Fuller, who is with the Nashville outfit. We put together a summer. I think he just came to lose some money here, but the thing is, we had some fantastic wrestlers on the show. Then I went with an independent. I wrestled in Piqua and all around the area, and it was really fantastic. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I really did. I've had a lot of fun as Dr. Creep over the years. I'm like 33 years as a horror host. Yeah.
You're fantastic, Dr. Creep. You know what? We're running out of time.
Are we?
I can sit and talk with you all day long.
I got stories. Stories. Yeah.
Oh, you got so many. We gotta have you back, Dr. Creep. You gotta come back.
Thank you very much.
You gotta come back on the show.
And I'm gonna read your book, Mr. Peevy Forgets.
Can you hold that up for boys and girls to see?
Okay, all righty. Okay,
thank you.
All righty.
Okay, Dr. Creep, thank you. You can grab my hand. We'll shake your hand. Thank you, Dr. Creep.
It's always been a pleasure, Mr. Peevy.
And thank you. And boys and girls, we'll see you next time on the Mr. Peevy Show.